run until I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore. Cause I know I'm gonna be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah, I don't wanna wait anymore. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shine. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. See that I'm surrounded by predators. It's critical, they got me in my element. It's dirty how you trying to keep it elegant. Keep my eyes open wide when everyone around me is an enemy. See my life cross my eyes. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shine. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take
Ladies and gentlemen, your black heart is in the building for week number 5 of ASL term number 2. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone for the action. AR joined by the one and only Ultranism back here again for some Fortnite Premier action.
Oh, AR, you know this is where I want to be on a Wednesday, and I get to be here as often as I possibly could, but when I'm here, the story seems to be unchanged. The domination, the level of skill that we see week after week here in the Premier Division for ASL is insane. There's always one name that stands out for this league alone. We play Fortnite on multiple days during the week, but Wednesday afternoon, 5 p.m. rolls around, and Edgemead sets their sights on the crown.
Man, they set this on that count so effectively too. Almost every single week so far, Alt. They've been at the top of that leaderboard. But remember, last week, they had their own competition going forth. Glenwood managed to eliminate them in the first game of Premier and take a win for themselves, taking that first spot on the leaderboard. But Edgemead came back to win the second one and top the leaderboard. Alt, the thing is, we're doing Premier right now. Of course, no broadcast of the Open Division. But if you do want to go ahead and see the points for the Open Division, then schools.acgl.gg/ASL. We'll go ahead, check all of that out. They've revamped the entire leaderboards over there. It shows you the top 5 teams now. And if you want to go ahead and check the other points, you can go ahead and click in it and see the rest of the scores. But Alt, that is very important. There's now competition for Edgemead now within this. And with us nearing the end of term number 2, that just means the challenges for these last couple of games, these last couple of weeks, are going to be absolutely insane.
And we don't know who it is. That's the most amazing thing. Week after week, we've had these little challenges coming through, knocking out Edgemead early, taking their own little victory, individual players shining through. Last week, it was Glenwood. Before, we've seen people like St. Joseph's. They are all challenging almost for that second position, but they're close enough to first that they're always ready to pip them out for at least one game in a week. But yes, if you guys, AR just did say the most important website. I saw a lot of people in the chat earlier wondering what schools are involved or what we're doing this for. How do they get involved or how do they get their schools involved? Schools.acgl.gg is the place to go. You can find all the information, all the titles, everything like that. So make a note of that. Go check that out. But maybe do so in a couple of minutes because we're about to head into the first of the 2 lobbies for the day.
Oh, your timing was impeccable there. I'm just going to say that right now as the battle bus flies over. Rigid Fortress ending ripped tides, and the thing that we've seen consistently now out of these past 5 weeks has been Wonkyland, has been Painted Palms, has even been the Battlewood Boulevard, and it seems to be the same over here for game number 1 of week 5. And Wonkyland, I mean, dude, this place has such early fights going on, and it's usually the same teams that land here. Case in point, it's Nitro, Vera, and Ty Boss once again landing here at Wonkyland, and actually even taking a little bit of damage on the way down. St. Joseph, you mentioned them earlier on over at Suede, Suave, and Trix right now, holding out this building. Ter's actually taking a heavy amount of damage over there, down to the 40s, I believe. As now it looks like the push may slowly come through. Trix going to lead that charge in right now. In the doorway, you can see the mist gets put down for the heals, and also to block that line of sight as Ter's now healthy once again on the shields, but oh no, a mistake jump coming from Suede. Still manages to go ahead off that zero gravity effect and get that shotgun pump through the tiniest of tiny windows. And now looking to go ahead and end Pookie Bot as well, but there's those gauntlets coming into play for that mobility. Yeah, absolutely. 30 players, and I mean, Wonkyland looks to have one team left over there, the victor of that area. Usually it's Hillcrest and Dynamica that are the two contesting at Wonkyland. Sano with a quick edit takes down Shmully over here with a full confirm as well. And that's 3 KP for this duo already. Make that 4 as they wipe out Dandy as well. And early on, that's phenomenal for a duo. Alt, we talk about numbers games all the time. They've racked up 4 KP as a duo, and they still have miles to go with 12 teams left. Yeah, absolutely. They want to sit on that throne. They want to be surrounded by gold. They want to have a crown atop their heads. And of course, that land is where they get to do it in front of everybody. Pros and schools competing at the same time. And hell, maybe even against each other as well. You do not want to miss it out. So go ahead. Keep your eyes peeled on the ACGL website and all the socials for any news that comes through for that land. But we enter that slower pace right now. You know, we have our 12 teams, our 29 players, and now this is the point where teams are going to go ahead. They're going to try to farm up. They're going to be wary of their surroundings as we see they're farming up in stone. So it gives us a chance to talk about a little bit of the metas. The meta has now grown to that Chaos Reloader shotgun, that single shot shotgun that we saw the first week of ASL. No one was using it. Everyone was missing the shots with it. Everyone was dropping it immediately for an iron pump. Now that and the pistol seems to be the way to go for these players. It's not even the Thunderburst SMG anymore. Absolutely getting that KP early on, and taking these fights right here with the pistol as well. The pistol does so much damage so quickly. I mean, to have that in the back pocket, to be able to output it like that, you really want to have that in the fray. As TRC gets taken down over there, just going ahead and sorting out a little bit of tech issues in the background. We see you, chat. Do not worry. We will get that audio fixed for you guys in just a second, as Skogs is going to go for the res over there. Don't worry, Alt is showing a lot of love to you guys. Do not worry. He's saying all kind things, I think. As we are going to switch perspective over to FlixZA and Zayed, another duo in their own rights that have done phenomenally in the past few weeks as a duo. Let's see if they can get those top spots again very quickly. And honestly, they need a little bit of KP over here. As a duo, you don't want to push every single fight every second. You're obviously going to play for that placement. And if they can take out Sanchez here to secure a bit of KP, it'll work out phenomenally for them.
Indeed. I'm not going to speak for too long just in case I am still muted. Chat, let me know. But the game is starting to warm up. I like it.
Absolutely. And now the bullets come flying through. And Zai just going to go ahead and reload that pistol really quickly. Move once again. Look at that west side of the circle as well. So many players trying to move into the safety of that zone. Sano with 7 overdrive grenades over here. For all the movement. Doesn't need to use any of it to take down RHB Evan over there. Dax gets the confirm as well for the Siphon, and now the ability to drop down over here on Scar, who's also low. Overdrive grenade goes out though. The beam comes through with the Nemesis, finds the shots, and finally this battle is won over here by Squibbly Shores, but there's another team so close by.
You know what I haven't seen so far on that kill feed? I haven't been seeing too many Edgemead kills. I mean, they haven't been knocked out yet, unless we missed something big there. But they're still being very quiet. These other teams have taken a lesson from it and are starting to ramp up towards the end of this. Sano's team is doing phenomenally well up on 7 KP already and kind of just dominating this western side of the map. This is another team that we've seen a lot though. Zero Chill leading the kills here for the squad and looking for a little bit more. Just keeping this high ground. They've got a nice edge of zone control. They can turn their sights to teams that now need to try and come in, because from about 4 storms, AR personally, I don't want to hang around too far there.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to hang out that far there as well. If we can get a look at the map really quickly, I want to see the spread of teams. That there was a lot of teams on the west side, and that's usually what happens on the chapter 7 map. The west side is usually the better drops, I would say. It's usually the ones where you get the legendary items much quicker. You can farm up materials and you can get the fights fairly quickly. There is a couple teams on the southern eastern side as well, so we'll see how that plays out. 4 rotations coming through. Meanwhile, Chick, Suave, and Suede, they're just playing through all of these builds right now, looking to take the height. Unfortunately, gets hit back down over there. Enzyme sitting so close over here. No shields. Pulls out the Chug Jug and gets shotgunned. You should have healed a little bit earlier, says Suede, as the confirms come through. Zero Chill on that kill feed, also finding one on the complete opposite side of the map. And we're down to 10 teams, but there was a reboot that just went by.
And now you have such a nice high ground control for the rest of the storm. You can look at it. Anyone taking that fight was huge for this team. And it does get them on the board with those KP points. Now we look towards the rest. And, I mean, pretty good position going forwards from this, even taking the time to drive it. But that little finisher at the end kind of showed why shotgun is so important, and actually going to show it off once more right now. Playing this close range engagement, fighting it out from their own tower. It is going to be Hippo taking off into the distance, not realizing there was an entire team here. It kept so well alive. Actually going to take the fight. Hungry Hippo going to be chased down.
Oh man, imagine if those shots connected. That would be so scary to just watch the VOD back and see death from above in its finest form from Suave. And I'm just gonna pop another nade over here, and oh boy, it's there's a lot of people over here. Maybe just back up a little bit. The fear kicking in a little bit for Suave over there. They're gonna go and try to get the back with the team before taking any part in, what was that, 6 people? One of those teams was Glenwood that I did see. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to be in that situation, especially when Glenwood proved themselves last week in game number 1.
Man, I love that decision making. You going to chase someone down, an easy target turns into a very difficult fight. But talking about a very difficult fight, we get to finally see Edgemead right here. Typo took a lot of damage, but managed to put a lot of pressure on Micah on the way down there as well. AWAC was literally just in the chat. So this guy is styling right now. Either that or has been taken out. It seems Dragon already being eliminated by the squad. AWAC has got some distance on him, and Asker going to be chasing that all the way into the storm. The Dauntless providing the mobility that they needed to, as Micah left alone, surrounded by 3 right now. Going to potentially be a very easy pick off. There goes on the zipline. Still the shots connect, and Micah goes down.
That final shot to connect. You know what? Shout out all the players that are competing that took their time out to let us know that we had audio issues, Alt, and just stood still to the point where they could get eliminated. Shout out y'all. Y'all the true MVPs. Y'all the true GOATs. And we are down to 22 players right now. Connie getting one as well over in that kill feed. As that's 2 down right now for Edgemead. AWAC looking for the reset now and having to find that reboot van in a forever shrinking zone in a safe spot to get back the trio. I mean, we've seen Edgemead pull off miracles when it comes to a one-man army. If they don't get the Riz over here, if they don't get the full reset, can it be done again?
Oh, it's not a miracle that you pray upon twice. You know, you're grateful when it happens once, but that should not be your team strategy going forwards. Don't worry, we still got one. We got this. Down to only 2 though. Zero Chill and Voxus having picked up 7 KP for their name. In a good position now, but wants to try and get a good, aggressive, confident push towards that zone as they know that there are still 8 other teams waiting for them. Now most of them just looking towards us in a circle, the next zone, get nicely set up and try get anyone who's late to the party with some easy picks. But standing on top of a build, risky maneuver unless you have the absolute high ground. Otherwise, you know, you don't want to waste all the builds, but get a small thing up behind you sometimes a good option because of how quick the finishes can come here.
I love this mini-map view that we can actually have, seeing all the teams on an enlarged map over there. Some teams still far to the west side of the core area, and other teams still in the safety of the zone, waiting for opponents to approach them. Bro, Yaps not taken down. Trix knows how to use these long-range rifles to its full effectiveness. And in fact, gets the full confirm over there as Suave takes down Shy Gunner for a full-on team wipe, taking us down to 8 teams left. Asker manages to stand on Volix in that kill feed as well. And look at that, builds happening in the distance. And somehow manages to hit a 19. Just a warning shot from the distance. Like, I can see you, I can hit you, build up better. As now the rotates coming through for all teams with that 5 seconds left on the storm closing. And we're about to see how cruel the Fortnite storm can be, as it is going to shift one more time, and it is going to shift west side.
Some big chunks being lost from an HP pool, but with that sort of sustain in the backpack, happy to do it. Has to be more concerned with the shots that immediately tag you as you're coming in there, but stabilized nicely on the edge is Suave and the rest of the squad. They're not too far away from the next challenge, so it's up to the team that can regain themselves first and take to the aggression just through the walls, teammates to be seen. We've only got a duo to compete with now, but they're not alone. There's at least 3 teams in the near vicinity. The rest of them starting to already move towards that next zone. So 6 seconds is going to force someone out of cover.
Dr. Minion, we've seen only a couple of games having this area in its end game section. It's nice to see that it shifts every single week here for ASL. Remember, week number 5, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining, this is Premier Fortnite. This is where you want to be on a Wednesday afternoon. And I mean, we still have one more game of Fortnite Premier after this. So these players are going to give it their all, especially with these weeks for term number 2 coming to a close very, very soon. And of course, with exams happening as well, these guys giving it their all in both their studies and to be the number 1s over here in Fortnite ASL's. Happy Hippo finds an entire army shooting through this build and hell through the windows as well. And those windows providing a tiny bit of cover to allow Hippo to fall back down into that little railway system by the collider. We have 15 seconds for the storm to close in. Dr. Minion will say goodbye to the zone in just a couple of seconds, and we still have 8 teams within it.
Oh, I love this. This Trix team, by the way, if you guys don't know, St. Joseph's Morris College. We've talked about them earlier a little bit. Consistently aggressive and very confident in this final couple of zones. So playing it well, very aware of what their role is right now. And as their opponents coming so much closer, consistently keeping their heads on a swivel, making sure to keep that pressure up as Happy and Enzyme just tucked away in a corner, hoping someone else distracts St. Joseph's. They make their way around this outside edge. Look at that beautiful little overview map in the bottom right. A new feature here on ASL showing just how close these teams are. It's like lining up the shots, and Happy Hippo takes for a run, hoping everyone else is looking everywhere else, and seems to have gotten away from it. It's the first one to go. There's a kill feed, lights up. Micah goes down, Chill goes down. Micah confirmed, and Suave from St. Morris also trading their way through the 6 teams left.
15 players as AWAC gets the confirm on Suave, leaving a duo over there for St. Joseph's in their own right. 6 teams, 14 players, and 30 seconds on the clock. Storm number 7, and you can see Enzyme doing it right now. You gotta heal up for this next push, because it's not gonna be kind to walk across this open field, try to build your own little mansion over there for safety. As Sano gonna go ahead and pop one of those overdrive grenades. Has 4 left in the back pocket. Good amount of heals as well. No meds, unfortunately. They're going to take a couple of shots in the back over there, down to 47 HP, but has the shields to get it topped back up. AWAC finally goes down. Dragon as well. I believe that's Edgemead out, as Mika was eliminated earlier, and we are down, Alt, to our top 5.
Game number 1 is where all of our usurpers come to take the crown for themselves. They're able to take out Edgemead in a couple of weeks now, so a great history for them. It does mean that the prize is up for grabs. Everyone else wanting to fight it out, but Sano loses his teammate. He's got 5 kills for the better, looking to get a nice angle round the outside. Finds a window waiting for him. Trot's just on the other side, looking for that res. Sano chooses his moment, decides to go up there and tries to burn through the builds. Head across again back to St. Joseph's, though, who's looking up towards that ever-present rival of themselves. Sano did eventually take down a Typo Love Zen, so has gotten a little bit of retribution on the other side, but it's St. Joseph's versus Happy Hippo. They've formed a rivalry this entire match, and now have to prove it with their gunfire.
Methodical rotations coming in that bottom right corner. You can see all the teams building above right now, trying to find that high ground that is going to be so beneficial. Divine falls down. That is going to be one less player for GHS right now. Just to get a second over here, Enzyme and Hippo taken out by Kyle and Connie. That's GHS getting a couple more limbs on their board, taking us down to a top 4 situation. 7 players left as the zone continues shrinking, and Kyle gonna heal up fully with this mist, with the chug jug as well, and now back into the fray. Low gravity effect from that mist means that the height advantage will go over to GHS right now. Connie also on the height, spots on Asker for hit for good old 6 damage with the shotgun from range, as we in our top 3, 6 players left right now. Connie building these cones and ceilings all the way above, and the sky base has been made right now. You can see a full-on overview through this one gap. Gonna take a couple of shots at different bulbs over here, just burn through it, maybe get a cheeky little lick with that Nemesis. As the Chaos reload as well. Chix is gonna find one down low on Trot's trio, and now the push comes through. Suede gets hit from above by Connie. Kyle still alive in the situation. Suede eventually falls down to Connie. The height advantage proving so beneficial once again here in ASL. Remember, this is game number 1. Who's going to walk away with the first victory of week number 5 ASL? Chix gets spotted down low, but no shots connecting on that. Kyle manages to go ahead and get the confirm over on Suede. 4 players left. Make that 3 as we find ourselves in our top 2 situation. Aska, the only one left for the team, has to deal with GHS as Connie and Kyle going at it for their first victory royale of week number 5. Aska all the way up with that overdrive grenade. Bullets coming through. Kyle managing to fall down on the low ground just a little bit. Connie getting shelled heavily by Aska, and Aska needs to get an limb very quickly to get that siphon in play. Connie down to 27 HP is going to go ahead and pop the pizza. Kyle manages to go ahead, take that challenge though, and eventually Aska falls, leaving GHS our first victory royale winner with 8 KP.
Everything about that finale was classic ASL. Whether it is the intense fight by a solo player at the end, such a close finish between them as well. I really started to actually believe at the end there. We had sky bases going over the top, and the team that takes the high ground so often comes out as the victors. We had huge kill tallies across the board by multiple teams, actually, it has to be said. That is a cool new addition that we don't often get to see. It means that we have a scoreboard, a leaderboard for map number 1 that's rather unpredictable, but Glenwood High School, they were the ones to take first game last week, and they've done it again.
Oh yeah, they are showing why they are the top dogs over here. Divine, Connie, and Kyle. Don't forget these names. We have other teams with here. We have St. Joseph's, we have Dynamica, we have Edgemead, but don't you ever forget about GHS in ASL, because in one single moment, just like that, they come out on top for the 2nd week in a row. Now, the question is, how much points did they actually rack up? Well, to answer that question, we're going to take an intermission, get that leaderboard set up for you guys, and also get our second game of Fortnite Premier for week number 5. So don't go anywhere. Alt and I will be right back with more Fortnite action.
till I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore.
Every Wednesday for the last 5 weeks, we have gathered here to see the best of school esports action, the best Fortnite players yet to graduate, all looking towards one thing, that AGC LAN at the end of it. The bragging rights that come with being the best schools Fortnite team in the country. The crown awaits.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nick might come at you for that. That's his line, but we'll see. We'll see what happens over there. The crown does indeed await Alt. AGC, the end of all of this. And we're week number 5 right now, like Alt said. And we have our leaderboard for post game 1 of week number 5. GHS Glenwood back on top post game 1. 81 points. 8 elims and a win. Alt, we talk about all the time, placement and eliminations, and they did both phenomenally over there. Trio Fortnite, that's Typo and Company, in second with 66, and then we have a tie for third. Delta Park, which is Mr. Fishy and Company, and then St. Joseph's, that's Suave Suede and Trix, both tied up for third with 62 points. Important to note over there, Alt.
Yeah, number 7.
St. Joseph.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Edgemead.
It's Edgemead in 7th place, 38 points. But also, I want to go to that tie in third. Delta Park and St. Joseph's. There's a 2-kill difference between these teams, and they both end up with the same points. That shows you how important those placements are, man.
Yeah. It's literally just the ability to take one extra step, survive, even if it's just with a single player ratting it out in the corner. Sometimes you need to know when to run, when to hide, when to employ all your best Jurassic Park tricks and just not move. But what a great showing, and one of the closest first leaderboards that we've seen coming out there. Big shout out to all of them. Typo, I said I would give you the shout outs, and here it is, friend, coming out there and representing Trio with the rest of your squad. They played a great game, and we're just starting to see them, one of the newest schools to kind of join the big dogs at the top of the ASL ladders. So it's nice to see every week new teams being added in there. But Glenwood, a team that has been around for a long time, a team that has got multiple Fortnite squads and can actually pick the best of the best, and showcasing it now after some really hard work. So shout out to Glenwood as well and their coach.
Absolutely. And of course, schools.acgl.gg. If you want to get your schools involved, go check it out over there. That's the site where you can get every bit of information that you need to be a part of ASL. What was it? A couple years ago, we had about over 100 schools sign up for ASL. That was a record-breaking number. We want to see it happen again, okay? So you guys go ahead, head on over schools.acgl.gg/ASL. Check out all the information, check out what you need to do to be a part of this, and you can see all the titles, because it's not just Fortnite. There's so many titles to compete in. So go ahead, check it out, and maybe you can be on the top of this leaderboard. But right now, it is Glenwood at the top of this leaderboard, Alt, and will history repeat itself? This is looking very similar to last week. Will Edgemead take it all away from Glenwood again, or will Glenwood just set their foot down, build up their base, defend this first place with their lives, and end off week number 5 at the top of the leaderboard?
Oh, long way to go until we get to that stage. You've done it for game number 1, and so you're certainly buoyed up a little bit and feeling more confident. It's nice to come off a nice high like that, but all of these teams fighting it out. I see a more vacant north side of the map than we saw in lobby number 1, and in fact most of our lobbies. Just 2 teams contesting it out there, and Wonky Land, and everyone else kind of spreading out to the bottom side of the map. So for once, a bit of peace and quiet up on this very northernmost point. I think that Suave and the rest of the St. Joseph's side are going to be very happy with it, and already starting to look like they got a nice inventory behind it. People taking the time to farm the winter season.
It's the same teams landing in the same areas with the same rotations. Hillcrest and St. Joseph's. And we're going to see St. Joseph's go ahead, rotating to Wonky Land. And the question's going to be, who's going to go ahead and walk out alive? In fact, we got Zero Chilling Company in here right now. They might go ahead and be the factor that's not accounted for. They may be the ones that go through and take out everyone else within this. It's something that we don't usually see. We usually see them land on top of that snowy mountain where St. Joseph's is. Now they're deep over here in Wonky Land looking for a fight on the happiest place on earth.
Oh, and this is a team that you should be worried about. I mean, they are one of those squads that's always at the top as well. It seems like they're going to get their game started, get some great loot out of that. There's a team nearby, so I want to draw too much attention towards themselves without checking that threat first. Just above on high, Zero Chill doesn't spot them out and pays with a full 0 to 100. And that is the go goal. Ty Boss going to come and lead the charge right there. He's got his teammates behind him. They're looking to get some early KP.
Dinamica was not ready for Hillcrest over there, man. That is insane. Numbers dropping down so quickly on that health bar. And you can see the chase starting to happen as well. In fact, that's St. Joseph's coming down the mountain. On top of that, hearing those shots and trying to move for it as well. Meanwhile, the chase comes in now from Hillcrest. Spotting down, spots out where Mac is, and gonna opt to go ahead and overdrive grenade. Did not throw it just yet. Managed to do so now, gets the confirm over here quite easily. And that's a second bit of KP for Hillcrest. Quite early on, too. We've only lost 5 players so far in our game number 2.
Dinamica taking some big losses at that stage. I mean, they're not completely out of it yet, but we did see, I think it was McPherson getting confirmed out there. And I mean, just 5 kills in terms of players actually eliminated from the game for now is not a lot, considering game number 1. Maybe a little bit more respect, or the fact that everyone's spread out down the southbound. Some teams even already starting to push towards the center, going to confirm themselves some position, but for the next couple of zones. But got to make sure to use that time wisely, as we see instead it players starting it out through the bush is Sergeant Knox, not even putting up a wall, doesn't have a wall to throw up in their dire straits, and as contesting someone in the building with the natural cover, draining all those healing resources. In a bit of a dire situation, looking for some teammates to try and jump up there. No, decides to back out. Probably the smart move.
That minimap alt. The spread is beautiful for these players right now. They can rotate freely to POIs to fight. It's not going to really be engagements in an open field with no natural cover. Most of it is by a bridge, by buildings, natural cover that they can work around and save some of their materials, at least off of a corner peak perhaps. But actually there is going to be a bunch of AI that is going to make some noise right now over by Pookiebot and company. So we'll see if that draws in attention. Meanwhile, Pokebot now spotted out, of course. Look at the skin, Alt. You must be happy that this is happening right now. Diva skin in Fortnite. Did you ever think that Overwatch Fortnite collab would go through? Fortunately, we're not going to get the mythics in ASL over here due to tournament rules, but still such a cool thing to see happen. And, I mean, Fortnite always doing the most that they can to make things unique for their players. But right now, this is going off. Shy gonna back up and in fact gonna go down once more to Turs, and the AI gonna be that third party right now within this. Proyasta also going down to Turs. Shy gonna get taken out, and now the confirm coming through for Turs, just racking up those numbers for KP.
And there goes the first squad. Pookiebot gonna clean it up there. We drop down to 16. And a great finish there. It all comes down to having that high ground and being able to beam down your opponents before they even realize it goes. The element of surprise and the cleanliness of execution, the cohesion of a team to be able to 0 to 100%. Or sometimes, you know, a little bit of mechanics combined with some overpowered weapons in this season. It all makes for a good show.
Asker right now gonna have a shockwave into the storm. Even though it's an early storm, it's a 1 tick. We don't want to be held out here for too long. It has a good inventory for heals. In fact, gonna pop that chug jug right now to go ahead and top out. Look who they're battling against. Edgemead also deep in the storm right now. In fact, gonna go ahead and move to the safety right now. Storm number 2, you can stay out here for just a little bit, but all those numbers, they rack up eventually, man. And even gonna have to be forced now to share that Chug Jug over with Typo as well. So some floppers in the inventory, so they can heal up a couple more times, and they even have that Skyline Deployer to get back into the fray. But Storm number 3 now is where we are at, and we've only lost our one team, and that was a pretty early on fight as well.
At this stage, it's safe to be in the Storm, but you got to worry about what you're not doing. The other teams are busy racking up KP. They're farming their mats. They're stacking their inventories and getting those heals that we've seen be so good. I mean, with the presence of stuff like your pizza this season, being able to get stuff like that is huge. Being able to pick up some gauntlets, though, a nice little boon to their game. And so they will have their time, I'm sure, to be able to stack up. Everyone else, though, looking already for some aggression. Takes to the sky. That's a lovely landing. Sano actually decides to drop down behind it and looks to close it out there. MX going to be able to pick up that kill on just 12 HP left, and now needs to take cover. Doesn't do it fast enough. It's going to be Tyboss and Nitro closing in on them and finishing it off at the end. Mr. Fishy sitting quietly, and I mean, the name, the skin, it's all a rich tapestry right now, but a slippery character indeed. Maybe just waiting to see how the rest of the squad goes and whether he needs to get back towards the water.
Of course, that is Delta Park looking to go ahead and play off of a reset, perhaps, if need be. Well, one thing we don't talk about, Alt, with the Chaos Reloader shotgun. We talk about the damage all the time. We talk about the single shot that it has in the chamber, the single slug. What we never talk about is the fact that it auto-reloads. So you go ahead, you pull that shot off. You just switch to your pistol, your Thunderburst SMG, hell, the Nemesis assault rifle that we've been seeing a lot more often now as well. And you wait for that slug to reload into the chamber on its own, pull it back out, high damage shot one more time, and you do that cycle over and over again. That was case in point over there that we did see within that fight. And a Nitro trying to thirst that unfortunately couldn't get the full confirmation at the time. Pushed very quickly, but we'll see what happens. CBK still within this, only 1 KP right now, and that's what worries me. CBK is usually a team that has at least 4 or 5 KP at this point in time. Storm number 3, and they're right now just chilling in a bush. They have the util, they have the weaponry, they have the builds, but not really pushing anyone as they usually do, and it kind of makes me worried for their leaderboard points right now.
I mean, they're really channeling Engi's solid snake right there, playing the full stealth mission, and they've watched teams walking by, looking for the perfect moment, but any moment's good if you get your opponents off guard, waiting for that third party perhaps, and Pokebot with their attention now dragged away towards the sky, taking shots towards Sanchez. Going to be confirming a couple of them, only hitting shields thus far as Sanchez looks to make a touchdown, but that's kind of a go call, and now the rest of CBK kind of maybe just left by as the party goes on.
I mean, managing to go ahead and have some maneuverability off of that gliding with the Skyline Deployer. Taking down to 15 shield and 69 HP over there. It's a nice amount, but will eventually heal up with the pizza. So Spicy as well. Gonna top up with a couple of medkits, and they desperately need to farm materials over here. I was just about to say it, a couple of wood over here to get from these trees, from this little forest area. They need to farm up a little bit more metal, I think, though, for that end game. For one of those sky bases that we see all the time. Meanwhile, the north side of the map right now, still a good amount of teams over there. Not engaging, but keeping the height of Wonky Land. So we'll see how that actually works out, since the zone seems to be pulling over towards the Wonky Land area for the endgame.
Skyline Deployer, another tool in the arsenal, but far more predictable one and much more risky to try and engage on enemy teams. So a bit of proactive work coming out from Select Craft to get on the high ground and now can challenge their opponents in the build. He's so spicy, but takes the brunt of the shotgun power. AR, it's always the shotgun that comes out at close range, and Scar looking to make use of them themselves. This one, of course, not our single slug finisher that we would like, but really powerful, even at mid-range, and that's where Scar wants to get to. The last one left alive here for Rondabosch. Takes away there. There's so many other teams that have tracked him. Sees Pookie and would love to actually finish this off for a little extra KP for the team, even if he can't secure those position kills. finishing points at least, and you can see everyone kind of in danger right now. Those on low HP taking off and trying to stay mobile.
And you know that Scar's gotta be hating having these gauntlets right now. Only 5 more uses on them, which would much rather want to have those overdrive grenades or even that skyline deployer in this situation. But 5 uses is all that's left on it. You gotta go ahead and use it smart, as now the shots come from above. Flix and Zayat all the way up top, but what a turnaround for Scar over there. That was a headshot for the first shot. And manages to push back both Flix and Zayat to go have a little pizza party. And with 15 teams still within the storm, number 6 approaching very soon over here, and the zone moving west of Wonkyland to the edge of map. This is going to be a weird rotation for a lot of players, but also a weird fight when that next zone approaches.
These trees offer such good cover, and even the ability to take to the air if you got something like a skyline deployer. There is going to be a tight and tenuous fight around this bridge area. And it means that these teams, these players who are down to a single player, because yeah, we have 15 teams, only 35 players though. So there are some people going to try and just hide it out, but late to try get any sort of reboots going off there. These trios though, now is their time to start shining. They've got the ability to try and stack up some kills, and this team here of Trots and the rest of Trio, they are so far yet to find an elimination right now, and they've got a team in their sights, but no real openings yet to try and close down on them, and actually putting themselves now between 2 very dangerous opposition.
Big open field as well between these oppositions, as Mr. Fishy goes down in that kill feed over there as well. Nice but cool goes on as well. And CBK picking up a trade at least in the kill feed. Not a full confirmation as of yet, but we'll see if they can manage to do so. Meanwhile, Pokebot looking to hold out, but the Riz has been stuck over on Engi and Uzumaki right now, holding those walls, allowing that Riz to come through, and the reset will happen. And while they finally get their first bit of KP on the board, they're doing quite well of surviving this late into the game. We are halfway there on our storms currently. And it's pulling back north once again, and that lake that's going to be there, the forest that's going to be there as well. It's going to have quite a bit of natural cover, but also a lot of natural obstacles for these teams to actually make their way through. Finally losing a couple more teams over there. It takes us down to 13 with 30 players left.
Connie getting some kills on the board here for GHS there. Of course, the target to face in this finale. We've had yet to see a team, except for Edgemead, being able to pick up a double in one of these Premier League matches. So very interested to see if we can do that so late into the season. So lots of players, down to 13 squads. 2 of them have dropped since the last time we chatted, and Typo now sitting, having lost Azka. This is a team that is needing to try and stabilize that, because they can no longer brag about having that trio tag.
So a lot of love in the chat for Trio over here, so we'll see how far they can actually push themselves into this game. So Spicy getting the confirm over on the president himself over there. And I mean, look at this cluster of players on the bottom side of zone right now. All by those buildings. In fact, there's going to be GHS. There's Soul Spicy there as well. I see TRC as well. And just above that, Zayat and Flick, still our duo. Just chilling it out, waiting for the numbers to drop as Divine gets a second bit of KP over there for GHS. Meanwhile, on the western side, we have CBK, we have Aska, we have Tyboss and company as well. And then there's Happy Hippo and Enzyme, another duo over there. I believe that's Elite X, if I'm not mistaken. And they're doing a fantastic job right now of staying alive with all these battles and reaching this top 10 situation.
Yeah, they were pretty stable in that last match as well. They didn't really take unnecessary fights, but when they were challenged, they were able to stand their own ground and put in a lot of damage to other teams, get a couple of KPs themselves. This time, though, everyone, they seem to just wait for a second, see where that new zone is, and it's dragged far away from everyone. Most teams at least clustered around this bottom right-hand side, and those far away already making movements to try to close this down. But it's the teams with these great builds here still looking, sights trained on anyone coming in right now. Flix has got a dangerous job having to bounce his way past a couple of temporary builds. He's helped out there by Zayat and going to be able to at least group up looking for an alternative route around. But Knight still just trying to keep up with the pace as Happy Hippo and squad are going to try and close this distance. They want these isolated targets to themselves, and a duo versus a duo, this is their best shot in claim some KP, down to 9 teams.
Talking about KP over there, out finally, CBK get a couple more of theirs, Engi gets 2, taking the total up to a full squad wide, but Aska gonna go ahead and tear that down immediately as Engi gets taken out. Divine now taking down Trix as well, just a knock for now. So we'll see if they can go ahead and get that through. But look at what on our screens right now. Something we never usually see. This late in the game, Edgemead, no kills whatsoever. And in fact, they've lost Dragon as well. The guy that soloed a couple of weeks ago. And it's looking like a dire situation for Edgemead right now. And with that being in reality, it looks like GHS still has that chance to win 2 games here. Connie gets taken down by Enzyme. Our duo Hippo right now. And Enzyme pushing up immediately, trying to spot out where Kyle is as well. And looking to be the ones to take down GHS. But the edit's coming through. I believe they've got Connie all the way down right now, looking for it is. But the zone, the zone always a factor to deal with. And look where they have to move as well. Southeast. And look how many players are there. But Hippo and Enzyme, something we don't see often, the duo has the height advantage.
I love that. They did get the confirmation on Connie at the end there, so they do get themselves up. And this is the problem with going for that sky base too early. Teams are ready to contest you. Single shockwave grenade was all it took there. Being able to now wrench your opponents off this gives you all the sidelines. Suave loses half that HP pool. Happy Hippo barreling towards them across these cones and managing to avoid the storm at the same time. Are in a great position. Suede is going to go down there, and that team is in a bad position.
Edgemead gets a couple of eliminations there as well right now. CBK only has Uzumaki to rely on, 4 KP total. And they're looking to go ahead and get that placement points racked up right now. 16 players still within this as Happy Hippo from above finds out shots. Looking now for the confirmation. Meanwhile, down low, Flix and Zayed. Still no kills to their names, but they did a fantastic job. Suave goes down as well to Happy Hippo. Typo finds Sanchez over there. And somehow, someway, Edgemead on the lowdown, still alive as a duo, has 1 KP right now to their name. Bodies dropping left, right, and center. Confirms going as well, as Zayed finally taken out, leaving Flix all alone. Divine looking to go ahead and shell that. 108 means that Divine falls to the storm, and Typo gets that 3 KP, but no confirm means that you're not getting that siphon, and Enzyme takes down Typo, leaving us in our top 6.
Yeah, it was Trio managing to pick up a trio of eliminations by the end of it, but no further will they take part in this. Final 6 teams, and still it's our duo on high ground there, Enzyme and Hippo. Hippo's not used to being up that high. On the other side, Nitro using the speed boost, getting that siphon off right now, and a solo has almost no chance for Ty Boss. He's just drawing attention, does eventually get taken out by none other than Edgemead. This Edgemead squad is still here. They pick up another one. Micah are going to add to that as well. And suddenly we're down to 3.
Suddenly they're doing it again. Alt Edgemead finding eliminations all of a sudden, but it's AWAC left now as a solo. Mika is down. Still a chance to maybe it is, but so many players so close by. Nitro gets taken down, and we're in our top 2 somehow, someway. AWAC, a solo alive for Edgemead as the zone now slowly pushes in, built up against the tree in this 2v1 situation. Can the duo who took that height early on walk away with the victory? And they manage to do so with a 7 elimination victory royale.
Oh, I love to see a duo actually managing to pull it off there. 7 eliminations is no slouch. This is not just a late game camping team who jumped on that opportunity. They took the aggression when it was needed. That play for the high ground set everything up, showcasing the power of the shotguns, showcasing the power of those shockwave grenades, and they made no mistakes. They didn't give it up. They didn't commit down early. They took the shots that were available to them, and they clinched it out. Edgemead coming in 2nd position gives them a little bit of route back into that. Not a lot of KP there, I think, will close it out, and we will probably, almost certainly, AR, get to see a new champion of the week here in ASL Week 5.
Elite X over there in 6th place, 42 points before that game went through. 7 KP and a win boosts them massively. The question now is, Trio did pretty well over there in game number 2.
Yeah.
Glenwood did phenomenally in game number 2. St. Joseph's, they survived for quite a while as well. What are the numbers going to look like? Because those are in the 80s and 60s. Elite X winning that was at 42. So quite a gap still to actually push up to that first place. I'm thinking we get a maybe 3rd or 4th out of Elite X over here with that win, with that 7 KP. Edgemead, I think, had maybe 3 or 4 elims towards the end over there. Not too sure, as they got eliminated quite quick. Numbers fell quite quickly over there. I don't see them pushing up to the top 5 situation. I'm sorry to say it. I don't think Edgemead makes top 5 for like the first time in 5 weeks, which is an insane thing to say. If you asked me a couple weeks ago, do you think Edgemead is below top 5? I'd say you're crazy. You're insane. You're not thinking right. Go to the doctors. Maybe they'll help you out. But it's looking that way right now, Alton. The rest of the teams, they did phenomenally as well. Our duos, they were the ones that stood out in game number 2 right now. Both duos being Zyd and Flix, and then Hippo and Enzyme stood up and stood out phenomenally in game number 2.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things when there's only 2 of you. You've got a slightly better mobility. You're not dragging one person who just wants one more chest, right? You're able to move around, and they utilize that perfectly. Love to see it. There was such nice unison, and all they did was isolate little 1v2s, but in their favor. They could take on a full trio, but being able to just duo up and eliminate a target, move on to the next person, then finish it off was such a good play. And it's the basics of what makes any good first-person shooter at the end of the day. And so you can see that it's super advanced, that deep mentality coming through there. I see AR's face, though. That can only mean one thing. We got ourselves a leaderboard. Let's go check that out.
Alt, I'm speechless. You take this away.
Oh,
I'm speechless.
Glenwood! Oh, coming
speechless.
out to the first position. But I mean, 2 points. Elite X pushing all the way up there into 2nd spot. You thought maybe top 3. Yeah, top 3 for sure. Podium right there. And Edgemead, okay, that's incredible.
I eat my words.
Actually,
I eat my words.
Actually, not top 5. Well, not this time, friends.
I eat my look. I'm man enough to admit I'm wrong. I eat my words over there. Somehow making top 3, somehow getting bronze is insane over there. They weren't finding limbs at all, but that's 2nd place enough to push them up. St. Joseph's now pushed down to that 5th position. Trio in 4th. Delta Park all the way down to 6th place, and Eden Glen in 8th right now, in 7th right now. Hillcrest pushed down to 9th, and CBK managed to barely get into that top 10 spot with 59 points. That is insanity. That is a 2-point difference, Alt.
2 points at the top. It is not in favor of Edgemead, which is huge, but you know what? They didn't even make top 2 right there. 2 teams. We said it was close. It felt close the whole way through there, even in that final fight. We didn't really know. I mean, our first game was decided by a storm tick damage in a trade kind of thing. That I was getting ready for a bit of a heal off, one of those classics. What a fantastic day of Fortnite. And I mean, we said Dynamica normally at the top. They're down in 11th. We've got new teams at the top. Trio doing fantastically well the whole way. Glenwood is standing up. St. Joseph's locking it down the whole way. Delta, Elite X, lovely little bit of flavor to come through. A duo in our 2nd position. Wonderful day of Fortnite.
You know what it is, Alt? These players, these teams, these schools, they can feel that we're at the culmination of ASL right now. We're at that point where it's LAN season. It's esports fever going around, and they're giving it their all, man. I mean, a 2-point difference. And you gotta imagine if Elite X managed to get one kill in that first game, we would have a tied 1st place right now for week number 5. And of course, all of this leading up to that LAN that will be happening, AGC, where the crown will be put onto one of these schools. The throne awaits for them. And Alt, with that being said, you and I, we have just a little bit longer to go before we experience that all over again. Another year in a row where the schools and the pros will clash at LAN.
Oh, that is the highlight of my July, guys. Keep your eyes on all the socials for the details. Even if you don't get to play, come to the event. There's so many amazing stands, vendors to check out. There are crowd events. The energy there is fantastic, not just for the high school players, but the pros going to be making their way down there as well. Last year, we sent a player of Brawlhalla to BCX. This LAN is coming. It is there. Mark your calendars as soon as possible. But there's one more step before we get there, AR. We got one more week of Fortnite action, guys. You will not want to miss that. The tickets are up for grabs, and we need to see who the decided victors are going to be, the people, the invitees for that event. So if you guys want to keep up with that action, make sure to be here 5 p.m. for the Premier Division. We'll see if we can finagle a little bit of open division for you as well before then. So keep an eye out from about 4 o'clock. But otherwise, from AR and myself and the entire production crew here at ACGL, it's been a pleasure. We cannot wait to see what next week has in store for us. We'll see you there. Bye for now.